Hey, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus. Today we have messages from Monkey. So as you can see, I have 3 different piles for you. The first pile represented by this beautiful monkey in the night sky. And then this one here from the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck. And then what is arguably a monkey and or hell beast from the Klimt Tarot. I went through every single deck I own to see if there was a hidden monkey in my tarot cards everywhere, and this is what I could come up with. So we are going to allow for this beast here to be a monkey, and we're going to see what messages we can get from the monkey spirit, from the monkey energy today. And so just tapping into that, you may start to feel, if you're not used to that energy, you may start to feel a bit chaotic or fast moving. It's like a very young masculine energy. This can also feel a little bit dizzying. So if you start to feel those kind of symptoms, just know that you're connecting in with that energy. And so we are now connecting in with our guides, my guides, your guides, any energies, entities, ancestors wish to be here with us. We ask that the spirit of monkey comes forward and delivers whatever messages we need today. So making your selection from the timestamps below, I will meet you at your reading. Welcome, pile number 1. The word that I'm getting here is cloaked. Something is cloaked, something is covered, something is disguised. And this disguised being, entity, energy is reflecting something back to you. Reflecting something false. Something is giving you the wrong message, whether it's good or bad. There is a deceptive energy here. And remembering that deceptive doesn't always mean bad, doesn't always mean malicious. Sometimes people are in this energy to protect themselves, or, they're just scared to reveal something that you may actually find endearing or cute. I'm hearing something about divisions in things that you held close. So this is the energy of, your close couple friend breaking up, or, people that are close to you. Could be your parents, could be you. This feels more around you, that there's been a split and there's this division of loyalties, or division of energies, or division of time, and this sort of like confusion and not really knowing where to be or what to do at this time. Monkey is talking about blasting through this energy. It's like riding through the center. And it's like a rocket, just holding all of your light and your vital energy and your ego energy in yourself. And it's like you're not getting dragged in one way or another. You're not getting dragged or pulled into anyone else's energy or ideas of you or anyone else. You're going places. So these things may represent barriers or things that are slowing you down currently. But I feel this, a tremendous amount of energy that's available to you right now that's going to really help you navigate the center of something. This could also be issues at work, between 2 colleagues that you work very closely with, having a falling out. And boundaries. Boundaries are essential here. Being able to travel in and out without carrying anything from one side to the other. So that's where that's going through, straight through the center. So you're dipping into one side, you're dipping into the other. Potentially you have to still communicate with both of these people or both sides to something. Something about a merger. There's also a merger for someone here with business, regarding business. So when you're dipping into both sides, it's important that you're not carrying anything on yourself. So this is sort of like when you walk into a meadow and get some fluffy pollen on yourself, and then you carried it and you go to a different meadow and then you leave some of that, and you're now the one meadow is pollinating the other. You know, like this is about making sure you're cleansed and cleared on each side. You're not carrying anything from one side to the other. This would also be really important if you're doing journey work, to not carry yourself into the dream world, to not carry yourself or your name or your ego into that world, so that you don't lose a part of yourself. Okay, so there's some caution here in how much of yourself you bring from one side to the other, how much of your dream self you bring back into this world. Yeah, this like idea of cross-pollination, it's sort of like you can travel between, but don't cross-pollinate, don't bring something from one side to the other. Betwixt and between. You're navigating this very tricky, paradoxical space. And for this time, you are asked to hold both things as true at once. And not forever, but this is a time where you must see both things in their fullness for what they are, the good and the bad. And so you're carrying that with you as you navigate that center. And you're not going one way or another. You're not choosing one way or another. Your boundaries keep you safe and keep you yourself and keep you in that space between. But you're still able to travel. Let's take a look at the message on the back. It says monkey. The symbolism is agility, courage, and spirit. The monkey is an ancient deity worshipped by the Middle Eastern peoples. In the Hindu Ramayana, the monkey hero named Hanuman helps rescue Sita, the god Vishnu's queen, who had been abducted by a demon. Hanuman was made invincible by Brahma, the grandfather and creator, and possesses the skill and agility to leap across the heavens. He leads a monkey army against the demon and rescues Sita, for which he is granted everlasting life. This painting of a monkey recalls the power of Hanuman and his dominion over the heavens. Okay, so this is interesting. The message I was getting here relates to the skill and agility, but also this idea of everlasting life. So there's this idea that whatever you're going through right now, this thing of being part of two worlds or part of two ideas or navigating a space between two people, is a path to enlightenment. It's teaching you something, something that you need to learn that could pertain to a past pattern or something that you, paths that you've walked before where you haven't been able to effectively navigate the space between, where you've been pulled or drawn from one side to the other prematurely. And this is about waiting it out in that space in between and coming through to this next stage of enlightenment. So this is a cycle breaking move on your part. Let's take a look at the tarot cards and see what other messages there are. Can I get some messages? Okay, so we have the Hermit. Yeah, and this is deeply empowering your own inner wisdom, and that idea of, even when you are even when you are with others holding that hermit energy, there's something that you are keeping to yourself. There's something that you are not sharing with others, and that's your light and illumination, which is not to say that you are in a negative space. It's just that you are sourcing yourself first in a very big way. And you're observing, coming into this role of self outside of self almost, in order to, so you are observing yourself in between as well, not just observing both sides of this. And this feels like, and because the hermit always, the hermit comes out with more wisdom, this again is talking about this path to enlightenment, this path to a more enlightened or wise way of being coming through from the other side of this. What else can we know about this situation? The Seven of Wands. Okay, so I'm getting that there are two conflicting energies, and there are people, there's one person who's coming out as like the victor, the hero, the victim even in this situation, and then there's people waiting on, or there's people on either side who have taken sides, and then there are people who are waiting to decide. So they're waiting for the outcome to decide. They've just kind of removed themselves from it. And you represent this rare person who is neither the viewing gallery nor the one who has chosen sides. But I see you stepping back and really taking a look at the idea of the idea of perspective and relationship and, morality, ethics versus morality, like, what is good and what is bad, and that, there are ways that sometimes the good, with air quotes, can really terrorize the ones that are perceived as bad and create like really difficult living conditions or difficult situations for or punish the ones that they perceive as wrong. And so observing this idea of right and wrong, observing this idea of good and bad, I see you like in this space sort of between those things, and really taking it came out of a fall, it came out of a victory and then a fall. So this has been a situation that's been in flux for quite some time. I'm sorry, I'm just experiencing a lot of things. Yeah, it's like there were boundaries and walls, and then there were no boundaries and walls, and this has been a very, it's like a washing machine. And so it can be very hard in that situation to really make a judgment about what is right or wrong, and so it's right for you to kind of remove yourself and look at it from a different perspective, thinking ethically instead of morally. Let's see what Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords reversed. One more. And the Ten of Coins. Okay, so this could be something that if it was at work, it could have been affecting your home life, like you were bringing it home with you, but also I see there was a period of unrest in that you weren't getting any sleep, or there was this threat of it harming you, even if it was something that was happening outside of you or separate from you, like something that was happening peripherally to you, and it was starting to make its way into your home. With the Nine of Swords reverse, what I'm hearing is that the more you leave this outside of yourself, the more rest you will get and the better your perspective will be, and that will lead you to security. That will lead you to this like comfort space. Something about this is teaching you about home. Something about this is teaching you about what you ultimately want for security. So whatever is happening right now with these two different elements, these two people or whatever it is, whatever is happening here, Monkey is saying that it is to show you and to teach you what security is for you, what your value systems are. So it could be that each person in this scenario or each idea or whatever it is, that it is showing you two different extremes, and that is helping you to discover what it is that you value and where you sit in between. Maybe you lean more to one side than the other. This could be political as well. I'm not really getting that feeling, but for some of you, this could be what it is, that you're sort of like torn between a decision of two different ways of thinking. And what is in between is a clarity that leads you to your ultimate security. So this can be what you value in home, what you value in materially, what you value for security, for stability, what you value in a partner, potentially a long-term partner if that's what you're looking for. Monkey, do we have any other messages? Okay, so we have the Three of Swords reversed. This is really beautiful because I see you removing yourself and navigating this space, and it brings you out of deep, deep anxiety and heartache. There was something that was holding you hostage, holding your heart hostage, that was actually holding you back. And maybe you resisted the idea that this was holding you back, but in pulling away, or in not even pulling away, and just holding these boundaries and holding your space where you're holding your space in that separate place, in the role of the observer, you are freeing your neck from the thing that was choking you to death. And this is what I really feel here. That it really had a hold on you in a way that you didn't know it could have a hold on you. So this could have been something, again, where this is representational of the past. If perhaps there is something going on between two of your friends or two of your coworkers that's reflective of something you saw in your parents, or something you saw in your grandparents, or something that you saw that was enacted between you and your friends when you were younger. This has been holding you hostage. It's had a grip on you, or someone has had a grip on you. And in navigating this space, you're free. And we have the Three of Wands reversed. Stuck on the three. Reverse, reverse, reverse. This is time. Yeah, you've struggled to be set free. You've struggled to be set free, and there's part of this is the three is representational here for me in this reading of neutrality. So neutrality has actually been your enemy. So perhaps at times you would take, a neutral political stance, or you wouldn't take a stand one way or the other, or you would always navigate the center and you would dip in and out, but you were still kind of pollinating each side. You were still making a choice by being neutral. You were still validating the actions of one side and the other at the same time, where now you are not validating. What you're being guided to do is not validate either side and do take a stand, but take a stand from a place of reflection, of inner sanctuary, of inner balance. And I'm really drawn to how we have this cross, this conflict, this crossroads. So I feel like there's been a reflective crossroads a number of times in your life. The same situation has come up at least 3 times. At least 3 times this very similar situation has come up, and it's been the choice between these 2 things. And this is a time to make a different choice. This is a time to actually make a choice if you never did before. And the third thing is a choice, but recognizing that it's a choice, that you have not exempted yourself from choice making in choosing a third thing, that is a choice, that not speaking to someone, not doing something, non-action is a choice just as much as action is a choice, and vice versa. Okay, so these are the messages for you from Monkey. I hope that this was helpful. Please leave me a comment down below, like, subscribe. My information is down below for yoga and meditation classes as well as personal readings. Take care. Pile number 2, hello and welcome. We have channeled messages from Monkey here, and you have chosen these beautiful monkey card that says inner child. Don't take life too seriously. Just give me a moment while I tune into the energy of this particular monkey message. Okay, so this message pertains to climbing. It pertains to ascension. It pertains to growth and vision and moving forward and how you're doing it. And I'm hearing something about there being like a particular deformity. So something that has grown sort of crooked. And I'm seeing a tree and how, sometimes when it floods, a tree will grow in a different direction, and then the water will recede and it'll kind of grow in a different direction. You see this in the trunk, that there's been these differences, these influences that have at different points in time really affected the way that this grows. And so you're being called to take a look at something that has made you grow potentially in a direction that you are not wanting to. So this could be something really simple. It doesn't have to be something really scary. It can be your relationship to how you clean your bathroom, honestly. It can be, just that there wasn't the right example, there wasn't the right education, there was something missing in your growth, in your development. So if you are coming up against the same boundary or the same barrier, if you're coming up against the same barrier, if there's this movement forward that you're trying to make and you keep coming up against what feels like it's like you don't see it and then you walk up against it. It's like a glass wall. If you are feeling this over and over and over again, take a look at, go backwards, take a walk backwards to when you first learned the skills that you need for this, or to when you to the emotions potentially from when you were small. And like trace your way backwards. And then once you're able to identify potentially whatever it was that created this imbalance, it's about teaching yourself as if you were small again. So rather than coming from the perspective, I'm an adult, I should know, it's sort of like, well, I'm an adult and I don't know. So how can I get help with this? Is there a YouTube video, a book, a friend, someone who is willing? And I would really love to see more of us treat our friends with that kind of kindness. Like, it's okay that you missed that lesson growing up, and allow each other to grow, despite these kind of like little warps or deformities, I think was the word that I used before. And what ends up happening through this is that deformity that I mentioned in the beginning ends up being this beautiful, beautiful part of what makes you unique. And because you are learning something out of order, it gives you this unique perspective on learning something, and it also opens you up to teaching other people or to being more open with other people who may be behind on different lessons, perhaps not the same ones as you. Okay, so that's That's the message I'm getting there for you from Monkey. Oh, okay. I was going to pull from the Tarot of the Shadows, but it wants me to pull from Tarot of the Dreaming, or Dreaming Way Tarot. So let me just give it one more shuffle. I was going to use it for the next reading I'm doing, but it wants to come out for you here. So what else can we know about this message from Monkey? So we have the Six of Swords. This is almost an endearing shift, is what I'm hearing. An endearing shift toward embracing your innocence, toward embracing your ignorance, if you will, and not ignorance in a sort of negative way. It's like taking back that ignorance, honoring what you don't know. Another example of this might be, when you are discovering politically, let's say you come from a place of privilege. This is something I've certainly gone through. When you come from a place of privilege and then you start to learn that you don't know what you don't know because you haven't had to experience it because you are privileged, It's something like that where it can be really uncomfortable. It can be a little bit stomach-wrenching. It can be really crisis-y at times, but it's a departure from the ignorance that was once damaging, and it's an embracing of my ignorance I will now inform. Ooh, there it is. That is a big message for you from Monkey. My ignorance I will now inform. And again, with the deformity, the words deformity and ignorance are not meant to be negative terms here. They're meant to be terms to help you empower. So where this deformity makes you beautiful, makes you unique, and this ignorance is something you are reclaiming, and you are understanding, I don't know what I don't know, and I am willing and open to learn. I'm willing and open to grow. I'm willing and open to change and to move away from what I know and from what is comfortable. I do feel like for you, I use the example of privilege, and I do feel like this is something that's coming through, not just from my example, but for some of you, that this is a crisis that you may be potentially undergoing, not really knowing how to make sense of yourself in relation to what you've discovered. So whatever that means for you. Let's see what else, what other messages. We have the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so I'm really seeing that whatever your issues are here, or the things that you're going up against, a lot of it has to do with a blocked heart space. So a difficulty navigating these waters, these emotions. With the Knight of Cups reversed, this is a love offer coming in, and I feel like this is, with it being reversed, this is an inability to accept or receive love. So if this is the blockage that you are continuously coming up against, this can also manifest itself in career, where you're unable to take the chances you need to take or enter the spaces you need to enter to get ahead because you are afraid. There's so much feeling wrapped up in the idea of failure, or of not being enough, or of not being worthy of being in those spaces, and not being able to receive accolades for your abilities. You're afraid to receive criticism, but equally afraid to receive positive feedback, because it's almost like the pressure of people loving you or believing in you makes you crumble a little bit. It makes you want to move away. And so when you're stepping into this space of new awareness, it's going to be very important that you learn how to receive love. That you learn to not only give, but to receive. That the flow goes both ways. I'm going to turn this guy around. And then you've got love coming in. You've got an offer you can receive. And the more you do this work of moving away from denying what you don't know, or from blocking ideas that may ideas or situations that may humble you, that may make you feel stupid for a while, or may make this deformity, if you will, or this hole, this gap that was, it was sort of like something was just missing when you were learning things growing up, and that happens to everybody. This is not like a negative thing. This is just a thing that happens to all of us, where you discover that there's something a lesson that you missed out on, and now you're learning those lessons. And the more that you embrace that, the more compassion you'll generate for yourself, and then you'll be able to receive the love that you need to receive and the accolades you need to receive in order to feel in order to have that feeling that you need to move forward. What else? So we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. That's interesting. Monkey gave us that message before. We have the Page of Swords. And we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that what's really been happening for you is that people have not been telling you things that they need to tell you, or you have not been receiving the opportunities that you need to receive in order to have your security and your stability. And the message from Monkey here is really about embracing your intuitive sensibilities and embracing your heart and your loving energy and that side of yourself that is very compassionate, and nurturing your inner child. I know that some people cringe about that, but it really is important for us to kind of go back and re-nurture ourselves in certain ways. So what I'm seeing for you here is that this could potentially be finding some lovely mothering energy, not only within yourself, but in others, or this could be, the key could be in your relationship as a mother. If that resonates with you, if that's something that you're into, if you think about the relationship and the love that you give and receive in this situation, and then applying it outward, I think one of the most profound things, I remember someone telling me about reading Running with Wolves, and how the wolf mother goes out and hunts, and she has to feed herself first before she can feed her cubs, and that is, or her pups, I don't know what they are, and that's kind of, that's definitely part of the message here. It's not the full picture, because there's this other component of even when you give yourself loving things, not being able to receive it, even when you give yourself time and energy and space, of not being able to really receive that gift from yourself. I'm going to pull one more card. Two more cards. Okay, so what we have blocked here is love offers coming in, a beautiful love offer coming in, or a more fulfilling relationship. So even if you're in a relationship, it's like the next level of intimacy that's being blocked here, as well as your stability and security. So that feeling of home, that feeling of roots, of feeling truly like belonging. And then the ability for people to fully and truly communicate things with you, that it seems like there's some kind of communication that's blocked here. And it's partly to do with your judgment of yourself. Okay, and then we have something here about the judgment of others. So there's the judgment of self and the judgment of others. it might matter to you a little bit too much what other people think. And that could be what you need to go back and take a look at. Or that could be, why you get stuck in a shame cycle, or the inability to receive love from yourself because you're like, oh, I was so ignorant, or I was this, or I was that. And then you get stuck in this place of not freeing yourself from being human, of making mistakes. And there's messages that need to come in for you, messages of love and security. With judgment being reversed, I feel here that you're afraid that if you look at yourself, you're going to find out something you don't want to know, or you're going to uncover something that is just so devastating that you won't be able to live with yourself. But my sense here is that that's not what you would discover. In fact, what you would discover is that you have this beautiful nurturing energy, and that you have made very, I don't want to say ordinary, but fairly normal mistakes, normal confusions. There's a lot of perfectionism in this pile. There's a lot of, Allow your ingenuity and your curiosity to fuel you. Allow that to inform the way that you move forward. We have the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So these are the two spaces where we see, oh, I thought this was the Page of Wands. Interesting. I've been reading this as the Page of Wands. So you have the 5 and the 5, and that's a space of chaos. That's a space of conflict. The 5 of Wands is someone who comes in and kind of takes the credit for what has been done, and the 5 of Wands are petty conflicts. So you have both here, these sort of chaotic, loud spaces, too many voices, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many outside influences going on, and a fixation on those things. But when you remove yourself from that space and you go inward toward your inner child and you begin to nurture your inner child, what you have available to you is a tremendous amount of love, a tremendous amount of stability and security. But right now, the space that you're navigating is in between the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands, right? So the monkey kind of travels in between spaces, and these are, it says here, don't take life too seriously, and you've got, all the conflicts that you can possibly have. This is, crisis of spirit, crisis of mind. But you can move away from that by surrendering to allowing people to judge you, or not caring what people think, or just surrendering to a less controlled way of being. Let's get 2 more cards for advice. I'll close out the reading. Get 2 more cards for advice. We have the Knight of Wands reversed. And the 10 of Cups. Okay, beautiful. So try not to make impulsive decisions about who you are or what you are when you're still on a healing journey. There's different places and different plateaus as you move forward, and as you're navigating different kinds of conflicts. the conflicts of the mind and the conflicts of the spirit. Be careful not to mistake a plateau for a finish line. And we see here with the Ten of Cups that you do have this beautiful happiness and loving energy. You do have a tremendous amount of love. There's a lot of children here. I feel like for you, children are important. Your childhood and the children around you are going to help you to heal. There's a key there to healing through children. And while the emotional component of that is really solid and is really there, there's this material aspect of it that isn't quite there. With the Knight of Wands reversed, I really feel like you are be cautious of what you react to and where you send your energy. If you are constantly sending your energy to these conflicts, if you are constantly fixated on what isn't there, it is going to create an even bigger void. But you're not doing that. You are going to take a look at your inner child. You're going to find that space that needs the healing, moving away from that into, this could also represent chasing love as well. So maybe you have been chasing love and security, but there wasn't a strong enough foundation. There were all these conflicts. It was kind of like, why isn't this working? Well, there was something in your past that wasn't breaking. And this has been the reassurance all along that the things that you want and the tools that you need to have, you have. And this just, again, reaffirms it. The Ten of Cups with the Queen of Cups. I see that you're a very passionate person and a very loving and caring person. And so you're not being punished because the things that you want haven't come to you yet. It's just that there's still some introspection, some gentleness, some gentle self-awareness that's needed. So that's the message I have for you from Monkey. Please leave me a comment down below, like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. All right, pile number 3, you chose the monkey and or hell beast represented by the devil here from the Klimt Tarot. Let me tune into the energies of this card, this message from monkey spirits. Okay, so I'm hearing like very primal drums and this is a very sacral and root energy. So this has to do with your stability, your security, your sexuality. And I'm hearing that you're close to reaching it. So Monkey is saying that you are close to reaching it, whatever it may be. There's something really, really basic about this energy, and that's what makes it so difficult to navigate. I'm hearing that you've been very hungry, for something. In many years of filling this space or this vacancy with other things. So this could be like collections of objects or eating things of that nature, things that we use to weigh us down. Even heavy people, we can sometimes gather them around just to weigh us down because we're looking for something to fill that space, and this is the hole that you have perceived and you have tried to fill with something, addictions even. And what I'm hearing is that you're being washed clean. What I'm hearing is that you're being washed clean. Okay. I'm hearing something about a clip trap. A clip trap. like being bound to something, being trapped in something, but being clipped in. I don't know what the clip significance is here. It might be significant to you, but for some reason that word is there. Okay. Do you live in a way where you see two very different lifestyles? Like this could be someone who, you could be someone who, you know, works with very, very wealthy people, but lives or has family who are very, who live in poverty. This feels like very much walking between spaces. Like that you can see or have access to very different ways of living, very different ways of being. I'm hearing something about cold toes. Two of Cups. Okay, so you've got a bold move and union coming in. This is something where maybe perhaps it's the two of you that bring those two worlds together. So this could be someone that is quite a bit wealthier than you, or vice versa, where you come from two different walks of life, but you bring two worlds together. It doesn't have to do with money. It could be to do with religion, culture, something like that. But you're bringing two very different ways of being together. And both of you at different points in time have been caught up in something very superficial, or something, you may have dismissed each other for superficial reasons, or you may have chosen to go stag rather than go with each other, is what I'm hearing. So this is two very independent people, two very strong-minded, strong-willed people. I can't decide which side to put this on, because this energy exists on both sides, both yours and theirs. So this is someone that you mirror. This is someone who you may have a almost telepathic connection with, and they come into your life to be squared, is what I'm hearing. What does that mean? King of Coins. This is very boss energy. I feel a lot of abundance coming in for you, pile number 3. Monkey wants to tell you that once you get your root sorted, you have so much abundance coming your way. Your root and your sacral, there could be sexual trauma here in this pile, and that is a deep and difficult road, and I extend much sympathy to you, honestly. But I can tell you, if you're wondering, and if you are feeling like it's a slog, and if you're feeling like, am I ever going to be able to rid my body of shame? Am I ever going to be able to rid myself of these heavy energies? The answer is yes. And more. And more. You cannot even begin to guess what is coming for you, pile number 3. So what I'm hearing is this is monkey trickster energy at its best. It will not show you what it is. It will show you around it. It will show you the spaces around it, and you need to believe it, and it will come. The King of Wands. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is dip deep down low and pull it up from that space. If you're a singer, sing from the bottom, sing from the sacral, sing from your pain, and sing from your root, and sing your ancestors, and sing all of the things that have come before you. You pull up from the bottom, from the base, and you send it out. And this is your power. And this is what the world has been waiting for, and this is the gift that you have to give. And this king is magical and he does not wait. This king is practical and he is patient. And between the two, you shoot an arrow. You embody both energies, as does your partner, fire and earth. Shadows reversed. There's something about breaking the waste, breaking the pattern, breaking the boundaries. It's almost like this relationship between the two of you and the space that you create between breaks down boundaries. It breaks down stigma. It like aggressively demonstrates shadow to other people, but in a way that then makes it disintegrate. It's like this really potent energy, this really powerful energy. So I don't know, I used the example of singer earlier, and I really was feeling that. If you're a singer, this could be singing with someone else. It's like your duet is important. What else? So we have the Ten of Cups. Yep. The Two of Wands reversed. And the Nine of Coins reversed. Okay. If you give up your... What I'm hearing is that there is a high level of independence that is admirable, but is also protective, and this is what keeps you alone, and what keeps you from being able to expand and navigate the next stage of your journey with this other person. So this is what's blocked the relationship coming forward, is this, or this union, or this connection, or this whatever this is with this partner, this other person, this union that needs to come together, not just for you but for other people. The union between you, or the connection between you, climbs up from beneath, and this is something that shows others how to climb up from beneath. It demonstrates to others just in its existence that the existence of this is possible. And so here there's this garden that you've built for yourself, this Nine of Coins energy, where it's like, I enjoy my own bounty. This is about being able to share your bounty. About being able to choose another without self-defense. Because we have the Ten of Cups here, and the Ten of Cups is, your ultimate emotional fulfillment. Deep and true happiness, the happiness of connection and belonging. That is present here. But it's present through pain. It's present through difficulty. I'm hearing something about throwing the black water into the current, if that means anything to you. But that's the shadows, throwing it into, allowing your emotions to flow through you. from unity to fulfillment, allowing it to move like a current without getting stuck in it, without staying in it, climbing up out of the emptiness that you felt in the sacral, in the root, in the base. And you're filling that space with a flow of energy, a flow of emotion. You're allowing the current to take the emotions, to take the shadows, to move the shadows through song, through speaking, through some kind of opening of the hearts. And it's almost like this opening is like a magic wand. It just transforms everything that once was. And you will not miss your independence. And you will not have to consciously always feel the need to grow. That it will just be something that happens and unfolds naturally. Any other messages from Monkey here? We want 2 more cards. I'm going to pull from the Klimt Tarot. 2 more cards of guidance for my pile number 3. These messages have been so interesting today. So we have the 7 of Wands. Many fools have had your ears before, and they will no longer have them. Don't be afraid of the lie tellers or the deceivers. Sometimes you will be glad of them because they will give you this like mirror, this check-in point. They'll give you the opportunity to see your own growth. But I feel that if there was a time in your life where you felt like people got away with a lot with you, that's no longer happening. And if that was you, that's no longer happening, because you're not going to be able to get away with anything with this other person. They see through you. And we got the 9 of Pentacles reversed again. So your advice here, check your personal situation. So if you are, there's 2 different messages here. If you are reliant on someone else for your abundance, you're only ever going to grow to the size of their container. You're only ever going to grow as big as they can grow. If you have, and that goes for if you have this like stubborn independence, you can only ever grow as far as you can grow by yourself, because you are going to need help. You are going to need help to expand. You are going to need help with your plan. And you have to make space for someone else. There has to be space for them. You can't open the door for them and then stick them in the closet, is what I'm hearing. Which is, sorry, it's just a really funny visual. You like open the front door and it's like, psych, you're in a closet. You can shove them in there. That's not where they deserve to be. They deserve to be out and free with you. And it's almost like when you do that to them, you're doing that to yourself. So if you do know this person or you are connected to this person, that's what's continuously happening, is that you're opening the door to them and then sticking them in the closet, and then you end up getting trapped in there with them too. So neither one of you are free. You're chained, you're bound to each other in the darkness. And if you can open the door to the garden, to that freer space, to the space of possibility and growth, you have ultimate happiness here. But you're definitely burying this life of like dealing with liars and cheats, or lying and cheating yourself, or For some of you, it's about imposter syndrome. You know, maybe not necessarily just being like, I'm super awesome all the time, but like still hopefully maintaining a level of being humble, but not having to like crap on yourself or self-deprecate all the time, or put yourself lower than you deserve, put yourself below your ideas. This is like giving you the opportunity to open up to your ideas. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope this was helpful. Messages from Monkey. If you are interested in a personal reading, my information is in the description box below, as well as links to yoga and meditation classes. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.